This session will focus on implementation of role-based access control in our project MicroTask Hub. It is an important security mechanism used in modern applications to control access to the resource based on user roles and permission. By end of the session, you will be able to understand the concepts and importance of role-based access control in distributed backend applications, differentiate between user roles such as user, manager, and admin, design and implement role-based access control mechanism using Spring Boot and JWT authentication concepts, understand how JWT token carry role and authorization information through payload claims, test protected APIs and role-specific access using Swagger AI, to build secure and scalable authorization system for microservice-based applications. This session is important because authentication alone is not enough. Applications also need a proper authorization mechanism to control what users are allowed to access. Now let us understand what role-based access control is. It is a security mechanism used to control what each user can access in the system based on their assigned role. As shown in the diagram, our application contains 5 major modules such as a dashboard, my task, task manager, user manager, and my profile. Each module has a specific responsibility within the application, and we have 3 different user roles: admin, manager, and user. Each role has different level of access permission. The admin role has complete access to the system. Admin can access all 5 modules: dashboard, my task, task manager, user manager, and my profile. Admin users are responsible for overall system administration. The manager role has limited access compared to admin. Manager can access dashboard, task manager, and my profile. Manager can monitor and manage tasks, but they do not have permission to access user management or personal task module assigned for regular users. The user role has access only to the modules related to personal activities. Users can access dashboard, my task, my profile. Now let us understand how role-based access control works internally. When a user log into the application, the backend authenticates the user. A JWT token is generated. The token contains role information inside the payroll. Whenever the new user tries to access a module or API, the backend reads the role from the JWT token, validates its permission, then grants or denies access accordingly. For example, if a user try to access the user manager module, access will be denied. If admin access the same module, access will be granted. Now let us move to the front-end version 2.0 setup for the MicroTask Hub project. The front-end source code is available in the Git repository. This repository contains the React-based front-end implementation for the MicroTask Hub project. To download the project into your local machine, we use the git clone command. The command is git clone followed by the repository URL. This command creates a local copy of the repository in our system. After cloning, move into the project directory before executing further commands. Next, we need to install all required dependencies. For that, we use the command npm install. This command downloads and installs all the packages. Without installing node modules, the front-end application cannot run properly. So after installing dependencies, we can start the front-end development server using the command npm run dev. This command launches the application locally in development mode. Once the server starts successfully, a localhost URL will be generated. The front-end application can be accessed through the browser. Let's start implementation. First, go to project location, open the project folder and delete the folder frontend_repo. After deleting, open command prompt for the location, click on the address bar and execute the command cmd. Once the command prompt is opens, try to clone the repository by using the command git clone followed by the URL of git repository. The git repository URL given in the video description. Once the repository is cloned, we can close the command prompt. It creates a folder frontend repo. Let us open the folder frontend repo. Now we have a new version 2.0. So open version 2.0 and open the frontend folder. Open this project in VS Code by using the command code space dot. Make sure that you open the latest version 2.0. Then take a terminal and convert into command prompt mode. First install the node modules by using the command npm install. Then execute it by using the command npm run dev. Now press O and enter. The result will be open in the browser. Then we can start integrate with the backend service and implement role-based access. Then go to the project location, open backend folder and open the project gateway in VS Code. Then convert the terminal into command prompt. Then clear the content of the terminal. Now activate the virtual environment. Once the virtual environment is activated, then execute it by using the command python followed by the file name run.py. Now the application is started and it is available in the port number 8000. Then open another project core service in Spring Tools. So open a Spring tool. Now we can select the path where the core service is there. It is available in local disk D inside the folder mth and select backend as a workspace for Spring Tools. Then open another project core services in Spring Tools and go to the package mth.models and create an entity class to manage the roles of the user. So right click on the package mth.model and use the option new class. Name the class as roles.java. Then convert the plain Java class into an entity class by adding the annotation @entity. Then map with database table by using the annotation @table. Within bracket we can specify the name of the table. So let me give the name of the table as roles. Inside create two data members. One is role with data type long and another one with data type string role name. Now make the first data member as a primary key by adding the annotation @id. Then generate getter and setter for these two data members by right click on the file name roles.java and use the option source. Then choose generate getter and setter. Select all the data members of the class. Then click on the button generate. It generates getter and setter for the data members. Then save and create one more entity class to manage all the modules of a project. So right click on the package mth.model and use the option new class. Name the class as modules or menus. Let me name the class as menus. Then finish. Now convert this plain Java class into entity class by adding the annotation @entity. Then map with database table by using @table and name of the table is menus. Inside create three data member, one with data type long menu id and another one menu with a string data type and another data member with a string data type menu icon. Then make first data member as a primary key by adding the annotation @id. Then generate getter and setters. So right click on the file name menus.java and use the option source. Choose generate getter and setters. Select all the data members. Then click on generate. It generates getter and setter for all the data members of the class. Next, create another entity class for creating a relationship between roles and the menu. So right click on the package mth.model, add a new class. I just name the class as roles mapping. This is the class is used to map roles with the modules and convert this class into entity and map with the database table. Then create two data member, long menu ID and then long role. So the relationship is created based on the two primary keys, one from roles.java and another one from menus.java. Make both the field as a primary key by adding the annotation @ID. So this will create a composite key. This helps us to maintain the relationship between roles and the modules. Then generate getter and setters. Right click on the file name roles mapping.java and use the option source, generate getter setter, select all the fields and generate. Then save. Then open pgadmin, connect with Postgres and go to the database MTH, then schemas and then tables. As of now, we have only one table, users. Now we can start executing the project core service. So right click on the project name core service, run as Spring Boot. Once the application is started, it creates tables based on the new entity classes added in the package mth.model. Then go to pgadmin, right click on the tables, refresh. Now we can see another three tables. One is menus, roles and roles mapping. Let us start open one by one. Right click on menus table and use query tool. Execute select query, select star from table menus. Then execute it. As of now, the table is empty with the three columns, menu ID, menu and then menu icon. Let us add the modules in the menus table as per the image shown here. Dashboard, my task, task manager, user manager and my profile. Use insert query, insert into table name menus followed by the field names menu ID, menu and then menu icon. Values. Then set menu ID 1 for the menu dashboard and the menu icon name as dashboard.png. Next, insert second row with menu ID 2. The second module is my task and the icon my task.png. Then insert third row, menu ID 3, the module name task manager and the icon file name task manager.png. Then insert fourth row, menu ID 4, user manager and the icon file name user manager.png. And insert fifth row, my profile and the file name myprofile.png. Better use the same icon file name because icon files are added into the front end inside public folder. Then execute the query. It inserts 5 records into the table menus. Now we can use select query to check all the values are added into the table. Now the table has 5 rows. Then execute select query for the table rows. As of now, the table is empty. Now we can start adding the roles into the table by using insert query. Insert into table name roles followed by the column name role and role name. Then values. Insert 3 records, one for user and 2 for manager, and 3 admin. And execute insert queries. 3 records are inserted into the table. Then execute select query for the table roles for double check. Now the table roles has 3 records. Then open roles mapping by using the select query. Now the table is empty. Now we can create a relationship. Once go through the image, how the relationship will be created. Admin can have access with the dashboard, my task, task manager, user manager, my profile. That means admin can access all the modules. So admin assigned with role number 3. So role number 3 mapped with the module 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then manager assigned with role number 2. So the role number 2 is mapped with module 1, module 3 and module 5. Then user is assigned with role 1. 1 can be mapped with dashboard, that means 1, and my task 2 and then 5. Let us start insert and create relationship in the table roles mapping. Use insert query to create a relationship. Insert into table name roles mapping followed by the column names MID and then role values. First for the admin, so menu ID 1 assigned to the admin, then menu ID 2 assigned for admin, then menu ID 3 assigned for admin, then menu ID 4 assigned for admin, then menu ID 5 assigned for admin. So we successfully created a relationship with all the modules for the role admin. Followed by we can create a relationship between the modules and manager roles. So then insert module 1, that means menu ID 1 for the manager role, and assign menu ID 3 for manager role, and then assign menu ID 5 for manager. Then create relationship between the modules and user roles. So assign menu ID 1, that means module 1 for user, and assign module 2 for user, and assign module 5 or menu ID 5 for user. So then perform the insert operation. So select the insert query and execute it. Then execute select query for the table roles mapping to cross check whether all the data are saved in the table or not. Now the table roles mapping having 11 relationships. Now we can start implementing a role-based access in the project core service. So go to the package mth.service, open the file user-service.java, go to end of the class, create a new method for implementing a role-based access. I'm creating a method with access specifier public and return type as object and method name as RBAC, stands for role based access control, and take JWT token as an input. So create a parameter with data type string token. Then create a response object by using map string as a data type for the key and object as a data type for value. Name the object as a response and initialize by using new followed by hash map. Then create a try catch to handle the exception. Finally, return the response object as a result. So before implementation, we must add a method in jwtservice.java for validating a token. So open the file jwtservice.java. Next to generate token, create a method for validating a token. This method will validate the token and return the content of payload. The payload content are stored in the form of dictionary. So create a method with access specifier public and return type as map, and mention the data type of a key as a string and object as a value, and name the method as validate token. It takes token as an input. So string token. Inside create object for the class claims. And initialize by using the class jwts.parser to extract the content from the token. So I just make it as multi-line for better understanding. Then verify the key by using the method verify with and pass the key what we used while generating a token. Then we need to call the method build. Then extract the content of payload by using the method parse signed claims and pass token as an input. Then we can get the value of payload by using the method get payload. So this will extract the content of payload from the token and saves in the object claims. Next, create object for date to check the validity of a token. Date expiry equal to claims dot get expiration. This will return the expiry date and time. Now we can add a condition if the value of the object expiry is equal to null or the value of the object expiry is before to the current date and time. So we can find current date and time by creating an object for the date class. If this condition is true, we can return the error message through new exception with a message invalid token. Else we can extract the payload content and add it into the dictionary. So create object for map. Then payload dot put username extracted from the token. So by using the claims object, claims dot get username and payload dot put role from claims dot get role. At the time of generating a token, we added username and role into the payload. While validating, we extracting username and payload from the token. Then return the object payload. This method validates a token. If token is invalid, it throws the exception, and also it validates the expiry time of the token. If the time is expired and throws the error message stating that invalid token, else it extracts the content of payload and returns the payload as a result. Next, go to user service.java. Inside try block, we can extract the content of payload. So we need to create object for map. payload equal to use object of JWT service class. The object of JWT service class is already created, so we can use this object JWT dot and call the method validate token and pass token as an input. This method validates the token is valid and returns the content of payload as a result, else it throws the exception that is handled by the catch block. Next, extract role from the payload. So long role equal to long dot parse long, because the content of payload in the form of object we need to convert into long. So payload dot get role in the form of string so that it will be converted into long. Next, create a JPA query to fetch the menu list based on the assigned role. So go to pgadmin, execute a select query to fetch the menu list based on the assigned roles, then convert into JPA query. So select star from menus query will return all the records from the table menu. Now we are going to implement join operation. So create object reference for the table menu and implement join with the table roles mapping where the relationships are created, and create a relationship based on the field available in the table menu. MID must match with the column name from the roles mapping r.mid. If we execute this query, it will return all 11 combinations. Now we can apply a condition where r.role equal to 3 for admin. If we execute this, it will bring all the 5 records which is mapped with the role admin. Then test for the manager. It will return the 3 records which is mapped with the role manager. Then test for user. It return another set of 3 records which is mapped with the user. Now we can convert this query into JPA query. So copy this query and go to the package mth repository, open the file user repository.java, then create a new JPA query by using @query. Here we can copy the normal SQL query which is generated using pgadmin and paste it and convert into JPA query. So for converting, we can replace the star with the object name M, because we need to get the content of menus table. So select M from the table menu. So while converting a normal SQL query into a JPA query, the table names are replaced with the entity class. And another table, roles mapping, is replaced with its entity class roles mapping. And the value replaced with the parameter role. Now we can create a method with access specifier public and return type is list of object. Why? Because the query returns multiple records, not a single record. So it is a list of objects. And then name the method as get menu list. So naming the method is our choice. I just name the method as get menu list with a parameter @param and mention the parameter used in the query, that is a role, and declare it as long. Now the query is ready to fetch the menu list based on the assigned role. Then go to user service.java, create list for the object to get a menu list equal to use the object of user repository UR dot call the method get menu list and pass role as an input. Along with that, we need to send user's full name to the front end. So go to user repository, create another query to fetch user's full name based on the username. So @query select u dot full name from the entity class users followed by the object u by applying a condition where u.email. Email will act as a username. So email equal to the parameter email. Then create a method with public access. It returns a single value, so you can use object as a return type. Name the method as get full name with a parameter @param. Mention name of the parameter used in the query, and that is email, declared as a string. So we can use this JPA query method get full name to fetch user full name based on the email. So go to user service.java. First extract the email from the payload. So string email equal to payload.get username. Email will act as a username. And convert into toString. Then create object to receive user's full name equal to, by using the object of user repository, and call the method get full name and pass email as a input. Then prefer the response object response.put, set code as 200 for successful response, and response.put add full name from the value of the object full name, and response.put menu list from the object menu list. If any exception, that is handled by the catch block. So set response with error code 500, and response.put error message from e.getMessage. Finally, this method returns the response object. Then go to user_controller.java inside mth.controllers. Create a new endpoint. So next to sign in, use @get mapping because there is no write operation. We just retrieve the data menu list and uses full name from the database. So use @get mapping and set name of the endpoint as RBAC, public return type as object, method name RBAC, and take token as an input from the request header, not from request body. So use the annotation @request header and specify name of the header as token T in capital letter, because in front end the header is defined as a token with T capital letter. String token. Inside add return statement. Use the object of user service and call the method RBAC and pass token as an input. Then save. If application not started, right click on the project name and run as Spring Boot app. If it is already running, just open a browser, take a new tab and open Swagger AI for the Spring Boot. It is running in the port number 8001. Now we can see a new endpoint for role-based access control. So click on it, click on try it out. It requires a token. Without token, if we try to execute, it throws an error. So we must pass a token. So go to the front end, provide a proper username and password which is available in the database to generate a token. This is the username and password is available in my users table. So if I click let's start, it will navigate to home page. Then use Ctrl+Shift+C. This is for Chrome browser. Then go to the tab application. Then click on the link of your front end under local storage. Then click on token, copy the token and return back to Swagger and paste it here. Click on try it out and paste it here, then execute. So it will return the menu list based on the provided username and password. So go to PG admin. Let us check what is there in the table users. Select star from users. Execute it. As of now, my users table have 3 records. Out of 3, I made this particular username and password as a admin. So I given 3 for the field role. So you can double click and enter the role 3 for any one of the user. Then click on the button to save the changes and make one user as a manager and one as a user. Then after, don't forget to save the changes. Execute select query and make sure what is the changes you made on the column role is reflected on the query result. Then you can generate a token by login with admin and copy the token and paste it for testing the endpoint. So paste it here, click on execute. It will bring all the menu items because I provided the credential which I marked as a admin. So it bring all the menu items: dashboard, my task, task manager, user manager, and my profile, along with success code 200 and user's full name. Now let me try with another user. So log out. I'm going to use manager's credential. I'm going to use manager's credential. So mail ID I copied and password. Use Control Shift C. Go to application tab. Copy the generated token for manager credential. Copy and go to Swagger UI. Remove the existing token and paste new one. Click on execute. Now you can see it returns the menu items which is mapped for manager: dashboard, task manager, and my profile. Next, integrate Python fast API with the Spring Boot. So open the project gateway and open the file authentication controller. Create a new endpoint by using @router.get. So in core services, the endpoint for role-based access is created using @get mapping. So use get instead of post. So get and set the name of the endpoint as RBAC and create a method in asynchronous mode and create a parameter object token and declared as a string. This will take input from the header. So for that, we need to add the class header in the import statement. From past API, import API router is already there. Along with that, you can add a class header. Then we can use it. Header within bracket 3 dots. So this will get the data from the header based on the name given in the parameter. So let me copy and paste it. I'm changing the endpoint for the Spring Boot as RBAC. Instead of value, JSON value, I'm going to pass headers equal to, in the form of JSON, we can set key as token, assign value from the parameter token. Next, return the response in the form of JSON. And don't forget to change the client method as get. Then save. Once the project is restarted, we can test using the front end. First, we will test for admin credential. If a user click on let's start, it will log into the system. In the home page, top right corner, they can see their user's full name and a list of menu which is mapped with admin. Here the menu list is not shown as per the order. So go to Spring Boot application, open the file users repository.java where you have a query to fetch the menu items from the table. There we can add order by class, order by m.mid. Then save. Once the project is restarted, then return back to the front end, refresh. Now the menu lists are in a proper order. So it is sorted based on the menu ID. Then test for manager, log out, log in with manager credential. Now it displays the menu which is mapped for manager role, dashboard, task manager and my profile. Then test for a user. It displays the menu which is mapped for the user, that is dashboard, my task and my profile. So role-based access control provides several benefits. It improves application security, prevents unauthorized access, simplifies the permission management, makes the application scalable and maintainable. So with role-based access control, we ensure that every user access only the modules and functionalities permitted for their role. This helps us build a secure, organized and scalable backend system for the project MicroTask Hub.